This is Stacy Marshall with Printwear Magazine.
Matt Vassallo with the rhinestoneworld.com.
Richard Greaves with screenmaking.com.
Brian Walker with RTP Apparel.
This is Peter Walsh with M&R, and you're listening to the Two Regular Guys podcast.
Podcast hosted by
Terry Combs.
Terry Combs.
Terry Combs.
And
Aaron Montgomery.
Aaron Montgomery.
Aaron Montgomery.
Keep on listening.
I don't know if these guys are that regular.
Richard. All right. Well, welcome to the show. It is Friday, July 30th, 2021. I'm Terry Combs, and you can find me at terrycombs.com.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery, and you can also find me at oursuccessgroup.com. So, Terry, we've got a fun show today. We got a great show. Yeah. I think really good information. And I'm really excited. In just a moment, we're going to be inviting in Jamar Laster. Sorry. I always get his name wrong. Sorry, Jamar. He is the content director with Impressions. And so we're going to be talking to him about the upcoming Impressions Expo in Atlantic City. Exciting that this is going to be their first show since Long Beach last year. So this is
that crazy?
Quite a while. And really, I mean, obviously they've done lots of great stuff in between those two shows and tons of fantastic content. A lot thanks to Jamar, but we want to talk about Atlantic City. We want to talk about kind of what the future is and just get an update from him. So we'll have that, and then we will follow up that conversation with Jamar with our conversation. I'm technically, I guess, based on the outline here, going to be interviewing Terry. Terry's our second guest this morning. We just want to talk about interesting things people say to us at trade shows. And just again, this is a reminder for both of us, Terry, that when we say that means at the trade show, on the show floor hours, not the things that happen afterwards. That's a whole different ballgame.
Cutting it off at either 4 or 5, depending on which show. We're okay. Got it.
Got it. Yeah, exactly.
That would be. I think that's going to have to be for one of our cocktail parties. Interesting things that people say to us after the trade shows.
I like that. There we go. All right. That could be next month's Decorators Community Party. I like it. Let's do it. All right. So let's check in here this morning with our regulators who are checking in. And real quick here. So Dale says, good morning to regular guys and Eric. Now Eric had to actually not be here today. He's finally getting some help on his home, the situation that we brought up last week, the gas line problem. So he is dealing with that. And he's like, yeah, I can kind of pop in and out. And we're like, Eric, just take care of that, buddy. You would do plenty. So,
so is it the person coming in? Is it the shaman that I suggested?
Yes,
because
I think it is that shaman is finally going to be there.
I believe surely that house is built on a burial ground because he's had one crisis after another for the past a year, I guess, right?
Exactly. So, anyhow, Eric's not here, so I will be all over the place. So, apologize if I'm not always paying attention right here into the camera, but we'll have a great show. And Cindy says, good morning. I've been going to trade shows for over 20 years. I hope this is a funny show. I think there'll be some entertainment.
Aren't they all?
Yeah, there you go. Good point. Good morning, Christine. And Gusta checking in from Sweden. And Curtis, good morning. And good morning, Kevin. Great to see you here. And Ramona, my new friend, I actually got to meet Ramona face-to-face there at the Applique Getaway. That was awesome, getting a chance to talk to her. And speaking of Applique Getaway, I also got to hang out with Martha Taylor for a good chunk of my stay there in Texas. She was such a fantastic host. She ended up being my chauffeur, basically. So thank you, Martha. I owe you. And I saw Cindy King there live. I saw Christine Shreve there live. So, and Sheila Ryan. I got to meet Sheila face-to-face too, Terry. So you missed out. Nice. It was a great show.
Yeah, it was, I didn't even ask you after you came back how it all went.
Yeah, it was fantastic. In fact, we're going to show you one other thing that happened there at the show here in just a moment, but we'll get to that. Good morning, Todd. And Christopher, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Yep. Yeah. Dale says, well, I hope he's doing well. I always try to greet the man behind the curtain. So, yep, he is the man behind the curtain most days, but
He's
today.
turning knobs and pulling chains. And
That's when you see Terry's arms go like that. That's actually Eric. Yeah.
Right.
All right. All right, Terry. Well, we didn't have a ton of actual news stuff here today that I found. I don't know if you found anything else, but what we did find is we got an email from a listener, and really appreciate the email. Very nice email. Then they were trying to help us with a potential spelling issue on our site, and I'll read what the email said because very nice and we appreciate it. I thought I would mention that it looks like the word blue, and I don't have a banner like Eric would have, but the word blue, BLEU, is spelled incorrectly on your website. And then they followed up and said, I've seen some tools to help with problems like this, such as spellalert.com or websitechecker.com. I just thought you should know. So that was the email. So first off, again, thanks very much for the heads up. Secondly, thanks for those great website spelling ideas, spellalert.com and websitechecker.com. But then lastly, Terry, I'd like you to explain why that is not a spelling error.
Well, first of all, I will admit that sometimes I spell something incorrectly, but I do have a degree in journalism. So blue and blue cheese is spelled BLEU because that's the way it's spelled in French. And it's the most common spelling of the word. But you can spell it BLEU or BLUE, and they are both correct.
They are both correct. So since Terry is the blue cheese connoisseur, he insisted that we spell it the correct French pronunciation because he's also a big fan of the French.
Because we have had wings not only here in the U.S., but we have had wings in Europe, Aaron. So
yes, we have. All right. Well, there we go. So we got that cleared up, but thank you so much. We really appreciate you helping us out. I'm sure I'm actually going to use those two websites that you suggested and just
that's a great idea.
We have the rest of the spelling good and probably use that on the rest of my website. So I can actually put those, I'll put those two websites, I'll copy and paste them into the chat here in case anybody wants those. So there we go. And yesterday was National Wing Day, Terry. So I also thought that this was appropriate.
I didn't even realize.
Yep. Yeah, you could have got a special deal at Hooters. I believe I saw there was all sorts of wing deals going on yesterday. I
don't know if we have a Hooters.
Funny enough, Terry, even though I don't live in Phoenix anymore, I still listen to a radio show from Phoenix, 98 KUPD, because those guys are really hilarious. So I was actually listening to their podcast version yesterday, and they were talking about National Wing Day. So, all right. So that's that. The other thing that I wanted to share, Terry, unless you have anything else, it just didn't make the outline. You're good? Okay, good.
I'm good.
The other thing that I wanted to share here, and see if I can make this. Oh, that'll be fun. How am I going to do this? I'm going to try to make it full screen here, but it's not cooperating. All right. Well, we'll figure out how it goes. Oh, come on. There we go. Now we got it. Okay. I'm going to put this up there. So I got to embroider for the very first time in my, and I know this seems shocking to everybody. I've never actually touched an embroidery machine in the 21 years that I've been in this industry. So this was the very first time. That is Katie Wubin, and she was the teacher, and this was her machine that she helped me on. I will give you the link. We'll get you the link for the full. Christine Shreve actually recorded the full 16-minute episode of it, but we'll just catch a quick me hitting the actual button here and go from there. So just 30 seconds of this. I promise it won't take long.
That's advanced. Green button. Ooh, Aaron Montgomery's first embroidered design. How much do we love this?
Well, it sounds like someone's a taskmaster there. Let's go. Let's go.
Look at it. 1,100 stitches a minute. Happy face, Aaron.
All right, so there we go. That's me embroidering for the very first time. Katie was a fantastic teacher. If you go over to Trouble Me Not Embroidery, that she sells machines, all sorts of different stuff over there. And part of she was actually really working me and trying to sell me that machine after we got done. But it comes with 2 days of training from her, and she was a fantastic trainer. I actually hooped it all by myself, the whole thing, and my hands are still good, no needles or any problems at all. So it was fantastic, and really a great time getting to do that. And in fact, Ramona was there, says, push the button, our new mantra to just do it. Push the button. Push the button. Sheila said historic moment. Yes, right. Thank you, Sheila. And somebody is calling me. Turn that off. Sorry. Okay. And that was so fun. I can't say my camera work was all that great, but it was great to watch. So there we go. All right. So Terry, let's see what else we got here. What's next here? So
I think you have a dad joke, don't you?
There we go. How could I forget? Sorry, a few too many things going on at one time here. I've got a dad joke. I will not have the great graphics like Eric does, but are you ready, Terry? Here we go.
I'm ready. Let's hear it.
Prison is just one word for you, but for some people, it's a whole sentence. All right, big groaner. Now, what makes this totally appropriate, though, is that is a dad joke from me, who's a dad, from my dad. All right, so my dad sent me that joke. So there you go. A dad joke from a dad joke from a dad joke. There we go. And
you can pass that down to Lewis. He can tell it in 20 years.
Yeah, he'll tell it today too. So all right. And then Christine, thank you so much. Here's Katie's website for those that are interested. Trouble Me Not, KNOT. Little play on words there for stitching and embroidery, right? Good stuff. All right. So Terry, are we ready to welcome in Jamar and chat with him?
Let's bring him in.
All right.
Can't wait to talk to him.
All right. So let's welcome in Jamar Laster. Jamar is the content director with Impressions Magazine and Impressions Expo. Jamar, welcome into the program again.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, hey, we haven't seen you in person in a long, long time. You and I talk occasionally about articles, and I have one due in 10 days. So well, I'm working on it.
I'm glad you have your calendar handy and that you have all those reminders on there.
Exactly right.
You got it.
It's all part of Terry's big book of travels. So
perfect. I need to get one of those.
Now that you're traveling, and speaking of, there's a new show on the horizon for Impressions Expo. Tell us about it.
I will. Let me just do one thing before I do. I just want to say, as a wing aficionado, I completely concur with your rationale and reasoning behind the spelling of blue in blue cheese. I also went to journalism school, and you were spot on with that. I completely concur. So I can sign off on that. And number two, you guys, since I'm a dad myself, you inspired me with the dad jokes. So I kind of have one of my own I wanted to share if I could.
Please. Oh, yes,
please do,
absolutely.
Yes.
How did the hot dog ask out his crush?
I don't know. How did the hot dog ask out its crush?
He mustered up the courage.
That's an excellent one.
That is fantastic. All right.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I love it.
Yeah. Hey, Jamar, before we get to Terry's question about what's on the horizon here, I do have one other thing that we really need to clear up before we get in here. Mm-hmm. You said that you are a wing connoisseur as well. So ranch or blue cheese?
Oh, blue cheese.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Blue cheese.
All right. I'm a
have
ranch
the
guy,
blue cheese.
so it's okay. All right. So
blue cheese all day, every day.
There you go.
As I always say to Aaron, ranch is an affront to God.
Oh, all right. Now we're just getting carried away, Terry. Come on.
I won't go that far, but I will say blue cheese.
All right. So, Jamar, yes, let's get to what's on the horizon for Impressions Expo here. I know there's some exciting stuff coming up.
Yeah, so we're really excited about our Atlantic City event coming up. We've been really looking forward to it for a long time. Like you guys said earlier in the show, we haven't seen our community face-to-face since Long Beach in 2020. And that just seems like eons ago. So right. We are really excited about this event. We're looking forward to, those 3 days of connecting, networking, just educating our customers, and of course, having our Northeast community do business with our vendors that are going to be at the show.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming, so we're really excited about it.
I bet that sounds fantastic. We're all really excited about it too. So Jamar, Tell us what's new with the show. Or I know you guys always are working on new and exciting things. So what can people expect that might seem a little new to them?
Okay. Well, we always have a conference program and an educational component for our events.
Yep.
And the exciting thing about Atlantic City this year is that this is going to be like a new conference experience because we haven't done a conference program since Long Beach, like I said.
Yeah.
So for our Northeast community, this is going to be a completely new conference program that they're going to have a chance to experience.
Yeah.
And so we have some great industry speakers that are going to be educating our attendees. We've got screen printing workshops. We've got everything from marketing to graphic design, some of those really cool topics. We've got seminars that are going to be offered over the 3-day period. And we're going to get to experience, or our attendees are going to get to experience everything from heat printing topics to embroidery digitizing, direct to garment printing. And we have a seminar this year that's going to be talking about direct to film technology, which is, that's probably going to be the next big development in the industry. So as always, we have that educational component there for our attendees, which is really valuable. We encourage everyone to sign up for those classes because those are really some really good speakers, good presenters that are going to teach our attendees how to take their business to the next level.
Yep.
And of course, the education doesn't stop there. A couple of months ago, we launched an online video platform called Impress You Online. I'm sure you guys are familiar with it.
Yep.
And what it is really cool. I refer to it as like a Netflix for the garment decorating industry. And so you can go on there, and it's located at impressionsexpo.com. I'm sorry, impressionsmagazine.com. Okay. And what you can do is go there and you can sign up. There are different levels of it's a subscription-based model, so you have different options for viewing videos, and we have all different kinds of videos. There you can filter through, and you can choose the content that you want to watch. So it's almost like you can curate it yourself. It's incredibly valuable, and it's on demand. It's 24/7. So we have all kinds of different topics on there: screen printing, embroidery. We've got digital topics, graphic design, marketing, and these videos are really engaging. Some of them are from the conference program that we did with our Impressions Connect event back when we weren't doing face-to-face. And then we have some really cool sponsored videos as well from suppliers in the industry that our community can watch as well.
Awesome.
So
wow.
That's a really cool thing that we offer. And again, that's year-round, 24/7, 365. So even if you can't make it to one of our events, that's a resource that's there for our community. Going back to the Atlantic City show, we're going to have our shop talk area, which has really, really become a really cool addition to our show floor. It's powered by our friends at the Ink Kitchen. Mm-hmm. And they're going to have some really cool topics being discussed in Atlantic City, everything from sustainability to sublimation, transfers, digital and hybrid printing and automation. We'll have some stuff about hot market printing, adding online storage, which is something that's really crucial, has become really crucial in this era of e-commerce and things like that. And with the pandemic and everything, a lot of decorators have had to shift to more of those e-commerce models. Mm-hmm. So we'll have education on that in the shop talk area. And there's a lot more over the 3-day period. So those sessions are going to start on Thursday at, I believe, 10:30 until 4. And then on Friday, it'll start at 11 and go until 4. And then on that Saturday, it starts at 11 and I think it ends at 12:30.
Okay. Wow.
So that'll be a really cool area for some of our guests and attendees to check out. And on that Thursday, we're also going to have a happy hour at 4 o'clock, sponsored by our friends at CIT. We're also going to have an organization called Surf Riders. They're going to be doing a pretty cool poster printing activation over near the shop talk area. So really, again, would like people to come out and check those things out. It's really going to be something that kind of breaks up your day with the show. It's continued education, all in the backdrop of getting a chance to just meet vendors, do business, network, and just everybody continue to come out and just learn and have a good time.
That's awesome.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I love that shop talk area because it's like a subject, a quick hitter.
Exactly.
And you, as you're walking by, you can just stop and hear somebody talk about a subject. Boom, 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 and it's just a lot of fun. I know we were positioned. My booth was positioned close to them at a show, and it was just a lot of fun to listen to all the different speakers and all the conversations. So
and those guys they're decorators, so they know what the community wants. So
Exactly
it's really
right.
cool that they pull that together and they curate it in such a way that it's really valuable to all our decorators in the community.
Yeah,
exactly. So, Jamar, are there going to be any special COVID protocols or anything, or is it too soon to tell?
Well, you know, COVID is obviously, and for good reason, top of everybody's mind, and it's the same with us. We're always thinking about how we can protect our customers and our staff. And so we have a full health and safety plan that's available for all our customers to view. They can view it at impressionsexpo.com, or they can go to our parent company's website, Emerald X. That's EMERALDX.com. We're constantly monitoring the changes in the COVID-19 protocols, and we're working with all our venues to ensure the health and safety measures are being followed and enacted. And we're complying with local, state, and government health policies and the CDC guidelines as well. As far as masking, obviously, you guys know the CDC recently changed their guidelines as far as masks are concerned. So what we're doing is for our show, the policy is that if you're not fully vaccinated, you have to wear a mask at all times. And attendees who are fully vaccinated are still strongly recommended, but not required to wear masks. And anybody that's attending our event, if you don't have a mask and you would like to wear one or you need to wear one, they will be provided.
Great. Awesome.
Are they going to be decorated? They should be decorated, you know.
We'll see about that. We might be able to do something.
Yeah. You can sponsor that, Terry.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Terry.com.
Nice. So Cindy, looking ahead to Fort Worth here, obviously got a ways to go on that, but just a quick question for you. Will Fort Worth be mask free? And I think probably, again, too early to tell, but any thoughts on that, Jamar?
Yeah, again, it's too early to tell. All we can do is operate with the guidelines that we have right now, which is, you know, if you're unvaccinated, you will be required to wear a mask. If you're not vaccinated, we're strongly encouraging it, but it won't be required. And that'll be the guideline until something changes, either with COVID or with the CDC and local and state guidelines.
Yeah. Good. All right. So we've brought up Fort Worth here. So that is, can you give us kind of the rundown? So you've got Atlantic City and then Fort Worth, right, is next. Is that, am I
correct? Atlantic City is August 26th to the 28th. And Fort Worth is September 10th to the 12th at the Fort Worth Convention Center.
Okay. All right. And then that'll round out 2021 for you guys, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then obviously we talked about Long Beach being the last one, and Long Beach is kind of the, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, Jamar, but I feel like it's the flagship show. And
very much so.
Yes. So that's then, are we going to be back in January? I mean, obviously, again, things will change, but as of right now, you guys are looking to have that back in January, right? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
As of right now, the plan is for us to be in Long Beach in January.
Awesome. Okay. So maybe just look ahead a little bit for us. I'm sure you don't have a crystal ball sitting right there right now, but
let me see if I can find it. Hold on.
Yeah, exactly. Pull it up for us real quick. But I know, people, COVID's still obviously out there. So I think there probably are people who might be targeting Long Beach as, this is hopefully when we're back to full quote unquote normal. So, what does that feel the same for you? But are you guys, you guys are kind of going ahead full force as it were back to normal, correct?
Absolutely. So, we're, again, with us, not being able to stage a face-to-face event in so long, once that door is open, we want to go right through and do everything we can to get our community together. And like you said, Long Beach is usually our flagship event. And right now the plan is for us from January 21st to 23rd in 2022 to be in Long Beach and be at the Long Beach Convention Center. We're still in the process of planning things. The show floor is in the process of being put together. We're getting some contracts in for some really cool vendors. to be there. Obviously, with our educational component, we're going to have a completely revamped, completely new educational plan for that Long Beach show.
Nice.
We're looking at some really cool activations and activities. Everything's still in the planning phases, so I can't really get too specific right now. But
it's just us talking.
But we really want our attendees and our community to feel good about the possibility of getting back together in Long Beach. Again, it's the biggest show that we do every year. It's our flagship event. We look forward to it. We have so many cool things that usually happen at Long Beach because we've got that really big show floor. We've got the arena that we usually use. We've got some really cool events that'll bring everybody together for networking, just to hang out and socialize and things like that. Obviously, with it being such a big show, there's unprecedented opportunity for people to get education, to network, to come and source products for whatever you need for your shop, whether it's apparel, blanks, whether it's screen printing equipment, supplies, all the way from embroidery, screen printing to digital decorating. We hope to have everything at the show. Everything is looking good right now, and we're incredibly optimistic about the chance to get together with everybody in January.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah. I mean, the great part about, obviously a lot of great parts about Long Beach that you just shared with us, but where it lands on the calendar normally, I do know that from the vendor side, people, they kick off their year there. They release new products fully out to the public. Those kinds of things always happen at Long Beach. And I think, like you said, that's what makes it that experience. There's so many, cool things to try and check out and network and learn about and all that kind of fun stuff. So I know people do that throughout the year at the rest of your shows too, but Long Beach just always seemed to kind of be special because of the timing of it, for sure.
Yeah, and then it really does kind of set the barometer for the year. Like you said, you got so many different suppliers that are having product introductions and introducing new clothing lines, or whether it's a new line of screen printing inks or something like that. They know that Long Beach is going to be that event that they're going to get a chance to get in front of most of their customers, and get a really good barometer on what the reception is going to be. And that's going to set the gauge for the rest of the year for a lot of those suppliers. And it's the same for our attendees. If they can get together and get in January in front of, their suppliers, and they're able to source some really good product, really good, machinery, good equipment and things like that, it sets up the rest of the year to look really good for them. So that's where we're concentrating. We're concentrating on providing a lot of value for our community and our attendees, as well as our exhibitors as well. So we're really looking forward to it.
That's great.
And it's dead center of the winter, and it's in Long Beach, California, everybody. So
exactly.
There is that, Terry, right? Not everybody gets to live in sunny Phoenix, Arizona.
Just another day for me in Long Beach. So.
It's actually cooler for you, Terry. But real quick, Terry, before you get there, Marianne just mentioned Long Beach is great, but really tough on the feet. So because the show floor is so big, bring your comfy walking shoes with you for sure.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Jamar. So tell our listeners where they can find you, where they can find Impressions Expo.
Sure. For Impressions Expo, if you ever need any more information, just visit the website, www.impressionsexpo.com. I am also at impressionsmagazine.com. That's where you'll find all our great content from the magazine, anything relating to the decorated apparel industry, trends, techniques, how-to information, great articles. It's a great educational resource. That's impressionsmagazine.com. And if anybody's going to be at the Atlantic City show, I'll be at the Impressions booth or walking around the show. Find me, come say hello. I look forward to meeting everybody.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah, get out there and meet Jamar. You're pretty tall, so you're
He's easy to find.
I'm 6'7" and I'm bald, so just if all else fails, just look up in the air. You'll see me.
Among the sea of people, there's Jamar's head floating
above.
That's
right.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Jamar, and thanks for all the great information. And looking forward to seeing you back out there soon.
Hey, thanks, guys, for having me. I really appreciate the time, and you guys have a great day.
You as well.
Great. Thanks, Jamar. All right.
Wow.
Well, Aaron, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I feel like we should just wrap up the show. That was so great, but
it was. In that Long Beach show, Aaron, it's a national show, and almost all the other shows other than Printing United are basically regional shows. But when I was talking about in the dead of winter, there'll be people from all over the country attending that show. So I encourage people to go.
Yeah, like Print United, not only all over the country, but you get an international flair there as well. I know I've met people from Latin America and even as far away as some Europe and maybe even I know I remember in years past seeing exhibitors there that had come from Asia. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
all right, well, Terry, let's like I said, I feel like we should just wrap up the show, but we've got plenty more to come here. So why don't you bring us into the next segment?
All right, Aaron, before we dive in, we want to thank everyone for checking out the Two Regular Guys podcast. As we always say, we're always looking for new guests. If you or anyone you know would like to join us, go to calendly.com/2 Regular Guys with your show ideas. If you are listening to the podcast version of the show, we would appreciate you sharing with your industry friends, the Two Regular Guys, and so they can become regulators too. We would appreciate you giving us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Podcast, or wherever you do your podcast listening. And if you're watching us live right now, please join in with your comments and questions. Tell us the things that you've heard at trade shows.
Yes, indeed. So we're looking forward to having those comments. Speaking of trade shows, though, Terry, we are so grateful to be able to support and be supported by all of these wonderful industry events. And this week, actually, we are supported also by the Graphics Pro Expo. So let's hear a quick word from them.
The NBM show is now Graphics Pro Expo. Graphics Pro Expo gives you access to the awards and personalization, apparel decorating, and sign and digital graphics markets all under one roof. Meet with top suppliers and manufacturers, source hundreds of products, and train with experts for a personalized experience geared toward your business. Graphics Pro Expo is headed toward a city near you in 2021. First up is Irving, Texas, May 13th through 15th. Indianapolis featuring RapsCon, June 15th through the 17th. Meadowlands, New Jersey, co-located with the NSSA Northeast Sign Expo, July 15th through 16th. Long Beach, California, August 12th through the 14th. Pittsburgh, September 24th through the 25th. And Charlotte, North Carolina, October 29th through the 30th. Go to graphics-pro-expo.com to find out more, and we'll see you there.
All right. Well, thanks for their support. And again, let's get back out there and support all of the events that we can. I've been able to get to a couple now, and everybody, safety is obviously priority, but I felt like everybody was doing the right thing. So been really great to see everybody back out there. Terry, before we get into what we wanted to talk about here, let's hit a couple more comments. Joanne says, love learning from these two guys and their guests too. So thank you, Joanne. Appreciate that. And Marianne says, really hoping to do Fort Worth this year. Yeah. Terry, are you going to be in Fort Worth? Do you have that on the big book of travels?
I do not have that on my schedule. So who knows though, I might still make it there. I love going to Fort Worth.
Well, I don't have it specifically on my schedule until I was talking to our buddy Clay from CorralTrainer.com, and he's got a booth there, and I may pack up the old blow-up couch and go hang out in his booth with him for a little bit.
Very nice.
Pop in at least for a couple days to say hi. So right now, that's on the schedule for me. So. And then Curtis mentioned Texas governor says as of yesterday, no masks or jabs required anywhere. Anyone requiring them will be fined by the state. So interesting that Texas has gone that route. Thank you, Jamar. Okay, there we go. And then Lisa says, it was lovely to meet you in person. Talking about me at the Applique Getaway, Aaron. We should have gotten Eric on Skype to get in our photo. Yeah, that would have been really glad. Next time, Lisa, we'll do that next time. Since, Eric and Lisa work together and they've never actually met face to face. I was sending Eric pictures. Hey, I got to meet Lisa. Haha. So it was great. All right, Terry. Well, welcome into the show, Terry. I want to talk to you about that. So
thanks for having me.
So you've I'm sure I'll come up with a few, but you've had an opportunity to be at a lot of these shows with the work that you do with Equipment Zone. And, there's always, some interesting you think people come up and says, oh, I've got this cool question or this unique question, and you've probably heard the same question hundreds and hundreds of times, right? So
Yeah.
so let's
Yeah.
talk about that, just some interesting things, because interesting from okay, where's their head at? How can we get them going in the right direction, right? Is that kind of the
Yeah,
idea?
exactly right. And what I did, Aaron, was I kind of broke them down into categories, and we do repeat lots of things over and over and over again, but that's why we're there, and we want to be there sharing with people, but sometimes there are people who stand out a little bit, and so the first category, there's my son Mike trying to call me, first category I like to call is the why not customer. This is the person who comes up to the booth and explains to you why this or that won't work.
Yeah.
And one of them, and I've mentioned this on the show before, where I come from, you can't sell a printed shirt for more than $5. And or another favorite is, nobody can make money with this equipment. and my thought is always, why are you here? Are you just were you done dissing people on Twitter, so you came here to do it in person? I appreciate you sharing your opinion with me, but I'm not quite sure why you walked up to me at a trade show booth to say, won't work, can't do it.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, Terry, unfortunately, I've found that people like that are probably going to struggle with everything that they do, because they seem to be more interested in figuring out why something won't work, as opposed to using that same brain power to figure out why something could work for them.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I was going to say, on the drive to the convention center, maybe you should think a little bit about, why is it where you come from, nobody will pay more than $5 for a printed shirt? And my answer, is obviously, you're talking to the wrong people.
Yeah.
That's you have that mindset that, well, one guy said to me, no, I won't pay more than $5. Therefore, all people will not pay more than $5. I will guarantee you that there's somebody that you talked to in the last week in your town who paid $25 for a shirt, and they ordered it online because you weren't offering that product, because you can't make money doing it, right?
Yeah. In fact, at the Applique Getaway, I got to have some conversations about this very topic, Terry. So, and here's the way I look at it. Obviously, if you can't sell a shirt for more than $5, it's probably because you won't pay for a shirt that's more than $5. It's your own filter,
That's
right?
true.
So that is a start of it. We all have different money set points. But the other thing is, here, you got to think about this. It's an exchange of value. You need to sell based on the value, not based on the cost. And so when I share that, what I typically say is, okay, so does anybody in your town wear Nike shoes? Or does anybody in your town carry a designer handbag, a Coach or a, Kate Spade or whatever the latest and greatest is? And obviously in every town, there's somebody that's doing that in some way, shape, or form. And so that particular product was valuable enough for them to pay a premium for. And so when they pay a premium for that meant that the value that they were exchanging was worth it to them. So you just got to figure out how to position yourself to be the Nike instead of the generic shoe, or be the designer handbag instead of the, off the shelf, Walmart, Target special kind of deal. So
yeah, stop being the dollar store guy.
yeah, exactly. So anyhow, I know that I'm obviously supposed to be interviewing you, but I had to, you knew I couldn't not, right?
That's what this show's all about.
That's right. So let's see here real quick before we get to and I love that you shared the category. So what we can do from here forward, Terry, is I'll just kind of bring up the category and then let you give us some examples, and maybe we can then work on explaining some ways around those things. But before we do that, let me share Christine's comment here. I think the favorite thing that someone has said to me at a trade show is, you look just like you do on video. Like for some reason, I'm going to look different in person. Interesting. Have you ever had that one, Terry?
Yeah, kind of something similar to that. Or I get a lot of, I feel like I already know you.
Yeah, I feel like I already know you. Or, oh, I can, I picked out your laugh from 2 aisles away. I know I was there when somebody told you that.
That's right. I had to stop because I heard you laughing. I laugh a lot at trade shows. I laugh a lot everywhere,
Yeah,
as you know, Aaron.
you laugh a lot, period. I love it. And then one more here. Oops. There we go. Sheila says, we aren't selling shirts, we're selling relationships. So there we go. That's
yeah,
great one.
Exactly right.
And then Cindy, this is timely based on the inventory supply issues. She says, right now I would almost pay $5 for a blank sports gray t-shirt. I've been searching for the shirts all morning.
Oh my gosh.
So anyhow,
Feel for you.
So we've got a lot. In fact, Todd follows that up with, my area can't afford Cadillacs and Lexus dealerships but there are Cadillacs and Lexus dealerships in the same zip code. So there we go. And I will stop pushing buttons now, Eric, because Eric is back in the background.
What?
So,
Welcome, Eric.
Back. Welcome back, Eric. So there we go. All right. So Eric, my hands are off the buttons. All yours, sir. Thank you very much. All right, Terry. So let's get to the next category here. And you shared that the blinded by the price customer. So
yeah, exactly.
Customer.
You know, somebody walks up to you and says, how much is it? And you start explaining, about, what you need in the process. And no, just give me the price. And or how much is the ink, or how much is this? And now all they want to know is the price. And that is a huge mistake, because if you're only looking at the price and not having the conversation about how will this product help my business, yep. That's a huge mistake. And not everybody's going to tell you everything you need to be successful in this process. I had somebody walk up to me and ask me for the price. And I said, well, tell me about your business. What is it? What do you do now? Or what are you planning to do? I'm just going to do uniforms, baseball, softball. And this was, I was in the Equipment Zone booth selling a direct-to-garment printer. And I said, well, you know what? This isn't a good match for you. Those products are almost exclusively polyester. And even though people will tell you, oh yeah, with this machine you can print polyester, it's an extended process, and you're not going to get great washability. And I don't think this is the right product for you. And not everyone's going to tell you that. And if all you're doing is going around asking for prices, you're not having that conversation.
Yeah. So. Yeah, exactly. And I think that, there's so much more that goes into it. I mean, obviously you've got to get to the bottom line and got to get to the dollars and cents at some point, but that's only after, I just had an article come out in Graphics Pro magazine about making investment decisions. And I think this is what it's all about. What you just said there, Terry, is this the right tool? Will it fit? I mean, in fact, I say in the article, and I don't remember exactly the numbers, so if I'm quoting it wrong, but I basically said, if I could guarantee you $1 million, but you have to make a $500,000 investment, would you do that? If I can guarantee in writing that you will get $1 million by investing 500,000, would you do that? And I think the answer for a lot of people would be, I'd figure out a way, right? I mean, if I can double my money just by coming up with $50,000. So my point being is that it's not about what's the price, how much is the ink. It's about how much can you make off of that tool, that supply, that program. What's the future return on investment, I guess is the best way to put it. So,
yeah.
All right. Well,
I know Eric's just spent a whole bunch more money on his house, so I won't ask him, but I want to take that deal. So, Aaron, would you mind loaning me about $400,000? I could probably scrape together the rest.
You'll scrape together. Okay. All right. Well, I said if it was a big if. I'm not guaranteeing anybody $1 million yet. Right. So we'll figure out how to do that someday. But okay. Terry, let's get a couple more of the comments in here real quick. Let me see what we got. Eric did mention that he gets the I didn't think you were that big. and Eric prefaced that by saying he could have just said tall, folks. So just help him out there a little bit.
When Jamar was talking about being 6'7", I was just thinking about Eric also, and the two of them walking through the trade show and people, partying like the Red Sea.
Yeah, exactly. And then Christine says, I feel like I already know you thing so much at Applique Getaway. There you go. Perfect. So like that part. And Cindy said, what's even harder to spot a person from their Facebook photo? So picking them out based on that. Now, Cindy was telling about how her hair kind of gives it away for her. So people could point her out by her hair. She's got a very unique look there. So, all right. Well, let's get to the next one here, Terry. So we talked about the why not customer, and we also talked about the blinded by price customer. How about the blinded by the sales pitch customer? What do you hear from them?
Yeah, that's there are some slick salespeople out there that you think that they probably should be wearing a plaid jacket and a white belt and white shoes, when but
I've got the greatest new car for you.
Exactly. Things like, well, why is your print $2 and that guy over there it's only 12 cents? Well, it's not 12 cents. I'll just tell you right now. if it is, I would request that in writing that ink is only 12 cents and that you can get a full refund if it's not. And they're not going to do that. And here's a favorite one that somebody told me that he actually bought a machine, a direct-to-garment machine at a show, and then called me about a week later. And he said, well, the salesman told me that I could load a 72 DPI file and the printer would fix it and print beautifully. And I said, did you really believe that? And he goes, I wanted to believe it.
He believed it enough to buy it, right?
He believed it enough to buy it. He corrected that and returned it and bought a machine from me. So that worked out well. But sometimes you hear things that are too good to be true. And, it's probably been 10 years ago that I was standing in the aisle. I was talking to a couple of friends from the industry and just happened to stop, ran into them in front of a booth that was selling direct-to-garment printers. And the customer said to the sales rep, well, what's it cost to replace the print head? And the sales rep goes, I don't really know. We've never had to replace a print head in any of our machines. The two gentlemen I was talking to, we all stopped and turned and looked like, what? It's a consumable part. You replace those, but and I don't want to scare people about trade shows because Aaron, 98% of the people are straight shooters with you. So I guess more than anything, what we're talking about here is asking the right questions, and as opposed to what's the price, or and certainly don't take everything at face value. They might be omitting a couple of things from that conversation.
The thing I've heard is, in fact, a podcast I always listen to, it was a volleyball podcast, but it rings true in this too. And the guy would always say, yeah, never let the truth get in the way of a good story, right? Like, we've never had to replace a print head. Right. I've never had to personally replace a print head is what he probably meant, but right. And I've only had it for, whatever, but
I'm new here. Actually, I don't have an answer for you.
Yeah, exactly. So Eric did mention, are those 2% or less of the salespeople, are those the predatory salespeople that Greg Kitson warned people about?
They are. Should I tell that story?
Oh, I don't know. Were you told not to tell the same stories again today?
No, I was not.
Oh, so. Okay, Kim. Well, no, you know what? Based on the time, though, let's keep going.
Let's pass over it. Okay.
Yeah. If go back, I don't know where. I'll see if I can find it maybe in the notes. But Terry's told that story before about the predatory salespeople and how he just happened to be walking by at the time and we made a shirt for it. So that we'll just leave it at that. Always make a shirt for it, right? That's the moral.
We should make a shirt.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next category here, Terry. The I'm smarter than you customer. Talk to us about that customer.
Yeah, this is the customer that walks up to you and goes, I could just build that machine myself. Why would I buy it from you? Or why would I buy this machine when I could buy something entirely, totally different over here and get the same result? Well, you can't. But when you're talking to somebody, so a lot of times they'll respond, yeah, I know all that. I've done my research on the internet. Oh, have you? On the internet? That's the perfect place to do your research. It's a good place to start. But one that I liked a lot, and again, this is kind of in the category of why are you here at the show? When someone said to me, my buddy in the industry told me that the big screen printers and the big digital decorators have already pushed out all the little guys. There's no money to be made out there anymore. And like, well, number one, that's not true. Number two, you think your buddy just doesn't want you to get into the business? Exactly. I'm going to go with number two.
Yeah. And we got to talk about that quite a bit on the show a couple weeks back, where we talked about the competing with the big guys. But this is a really interesting one, Terry. Like you said, there's this I'm smarter than you air to it. And as you just mentioned, the whole point of us bringing this stuff up is not to point out or make you concerned about predatory salespeople or to point out these questions necessarily. It's to help, like you said, educate you on how you can better achieve the results that you want by going to these trade shows and asking the right questions. And I think when you come at it from this I'm smarter than you or this adversarial opportunity, I mean, if I'm there looking for a piece of equipment and I walk up to Terry and I'm already ready to just go to battle and prove Terry wrong, I will get nothing out of that. But if I walk up to Terry with okay, this could be my new potential partner, I need to ask questions and I need to learn the nuances and understand what it is that is different about theirs compared to the next booth over or whatever. And I think that's kind of the process that we're asking people to look at here. So can you maybe expand on that, Terry?
Yeah. I once had an employee walk into my office, and yes, Kim, I've told this story before. She sat down and said, I know everything. She was looking for a raise. I know everything there is to know about screen printing. I've been doing this for 3 years. And my response was, I've been doing it way longer than that. And I feel like I learn something new every day. And she started to cry. But you have to go with that. And that's true. And Aaron, I'm sure you feel the same way, that I learn a lot at trade shows from people coming by, people who say, well, hey, let me tell you what I tried with this machine or that machine, and it really worked well. I'm like, oh my gosh, what a great idea that is. But you have to be open to that. You can't go about anything in live saying I'm the smartest guy in the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's so much to be learned out there, and we should take advantage of it.
Yeah, exactly. There's always a learning opportunity everywhere you go. So maybe ask the right questions where you're asking questions from a let's work together standpoint, as opposed to I'm smarter than you and I'm just here to prove that standpoint, right? Is that kind of
exactly.
All right. Well, we got a couple more to get to here and we're running short on time, so let's keep pushing forward. How about I just game the system customer? What does that person say?
Yeah. Well, and I mostly ran into this, Aaron, when you and I were at US Screen. We were selling a $995 software package, and people lined up waving their credit cards trying to be next to buy it. And there's always that one person who would come up and say, well, I'm not going to buy it because every time I need to use the software, I just go in and do the trial version of it, and I just put in a new email address. And I'm thinking, well, good on you. You're very smart. Since you're telling me, you're obviously very proud of the fact it's stealing. You're stealing from me, but yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, and I will be looking for your email address.
Yeah. So let me scan your badge real quick and make sure I get the name, and we'll tag that name in the system. Yeah.
And just to walk up to you like that, though, and be so proud of the fact that, oh yeah, I'm gaming it. I'm not going to give you your software isn't worth $1,000 to me. Now I use it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I think the same theme here kind of plays out, Terry. It's what's your intention here? A trade show to me is an opportunity to go and find new partnerships, and that vendor buyer, exhibitor attendee relationship is really about creating partnerships. And so if your intention is to go and, like you said, be proud of stealing something, you might be in the wrong place, So,
yeah, exactly.
All right. So let's get the last one here and then just figure out how we wrap this up. In fact, I know you've got an amazing 5 things that will kind of tie this all together nicely for us. So
exactly right.
Here's the last category that you got for us, and really good stuff here, Terry. I just need to take about 2 hours of your time customer. How does that play out?
This first example actually happened when you and I were at the U.S. screen printing booth, and the gentleman walked up and he said, "Hey, I've got my T-Jet here in this wagon. Could you take a look at it? I'm having some banding." You've got 7 hours of showtime, and he wants you to do some service on the machine. And I think my response to him was, well, I don't know. You want to take your car to the guy you bought it from and have him take a look at the transmission, or you want to have a technician take a look at it? You got a booth full of sales reps here, and we don't have the skills, nor do we really have the time to put your machine up on the counter and do some work on it. And along those lines, I've heard, could you teach me how to use Photoshop while I'm standing here in front of your booth? Could you take a look at these 5 files and fix them for me? Or I've got a flash drive here. This is another favorite, and this happened lots and lots of times. I need you to print these 10 images for me, and so that I can show them some customers, and then maybe come back and buy your machine. There's a finite amount of time, and hey, we want to talk to you, but there's also a whole bunch of other people we're going to try to talk to at the same time. And you don't want somebody walking away from your booth because you don't have time to talk to them. So, be courteous of the people's time that are working in those booths. They don't have that kind of extra time to do things like teach you how to use Photoshop and while we're talking to customers.
Yeah. And Terry, I'd hate to kind of keep banging on the same drum here, but again, this just to me circles right back to that whole idea of, this has got to be a partnership. It doesn't work if it's just all about you taking, because again, when exhibitors go to shows, they've got a massive amount of expense that they've put into that, so they're there to do a very specific thing. Like you said, they take the sales reps, not the support staff. And so you got to figure out how to best work with them. If you've got an issue with your printer banding, for example, you got to just go through the proper channels. And if you're not getting what you need to get done at that point, there's different and better ways to do that.
Right.
But so coming in with a specific plan, get questions answered, if you do need to have some images printed, I know that people that do this kind of stuff, you guys included, will certainly help out with that after the show's over. Right. And so if you're coming in and going, okay, I'm just going to park myself at the front of this booth and take over the whole time, it just isn't going to work. You're not going to get the help that you could get if you came at it a different route. Right.
It's not fair to the vendor. It's not fair to all those other people who came to that show to get their questions answered. If you're taking all the time, they're walking away and having to, not having that successful show that they should be having as well.
Yeah. And I, like I said, at the end of the day, I've been there. I've been there with Terry when these things have happened, and you get when it gets to that point, when you have that feeling like, I'm just being taken advantage of here, we all do this, no matter what side you're on. Once you get to that point where you feel like you're being taken advantage of, you're going to do the very minimum possible to get this thing done. Right now, if you came to me and you generally worked with me to get things done and to get the help that you need in a way that I don't feel like you're trying to take advantage of me, then I will bend over backwards to make sure that you get the help that you need in the right time, and so it's just a different way to look at it. When you come in demanding and saying that, you deserve this and all this other stuff, I just think you're actually going to get less help than if you came at this from a whole different, ball game, a different set of questions, a different way of looking at this. So I guess that's my final soapbox moment there, Terry.
There you go. I do a lot of handing my card to that person saying, call me on Monday. We'll get this taken care of for you.
Yeah, exactly.
And then off to another customer.
Yeah, totally. All right. Well, a couple quick comments here, and then we'll get into 5 things. Let's see here. Cindy says, I found some really great new partners at the AG show. That's awesome. Eric commented right before that, if you are always the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. I like that. Very, very good point.
I love it.
Christine says, the take 2 hours of your time customers kill me. And usually they end up spending less than the people who can make a decision in a few minutes. Yep, good point there. Andrea says, that's what Zoom meetings, phone calls, and after sales support are for. And then Andrea also says, as a vendor, we're always happy to help, but at the right time. So there you go.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Well, Terry, let's do 5 things.
All right. Well, my 5 things tie into this whole conversation. Some good questions to ask when you're at a trade show. So number 1, is the equipment product right for my business? Number 2, what does a complete package cost? Tell me what I need to make this all work. Number 3, what kind of training will I get? Number 4, what kind of support do you offer after the sale? Number 5, and I tell people to do this all the time, could you give me the contact information for a few of your customers? And, anybody that can't do that, I had someone say to me, well, XYZ company over there said, oh, we're not allowed to give out any of our customers' contact information. And it just makes you wonder, do they have any customers that are going to say anything nice about them?
Yeah. Awesome.
So
well,
that's my 5 things.
Yeah, that is fantastic, Terry. Thanks for sharing that, and thanks for the info there. So, is this equipment and product right for my business? What does a complete package cost? What kind of training will I get? What kind of support do you offer? And could you give me the contact information of a few customers? Perfect. There you go. So when you go to that next trade show, Terry just gave you the list. Write that down. Head on up and just hand that to Terry. Say, here you go, Terry. Answer these questions, please.
Exactly. I've talked about that in seminars before, and somebody will actually come to the booth and say, okay, I was in your seminar, so and just start reading them off.
Awesome. All right, Terry. Well, I've got another question for you then. What do you got coming up here? Where will people be able to see Terry out in the real live world?
All right. Well, my complete screen printing business course at Atlas Screen Supply, August 21st to 22nd, is sold out. So the next event in Chicago will be November 6th through 7th. I'm going to be at DAX Chicagoland, August 27th. I'm going to be doing a half-day seminar. Am I doing this right? Pro tips for screen printers. And watch for all my upcoming events at terrycombs.com. How about you, Aaron?
Yeah, that's great. So we're still getting the word out there. We've launched our new program, the 5 Keys of Business Success, growing and launching your business. And it's been going really well. Lots of great feedback. We've got an introductory offer that is available through the end of August. So we wanted to just give people plenty of time to check it out and look at it. But, because people are like, oh, but you're not going to create this sense of urgency by waiting until the end of the August to let go of your introductory offer. And we said, well, the sense of urgency is the fact that if you don't put these foundational pieces into your business, you're losing money. So every day that you don't do these 5 things, these 5 keys, right? We kind of love the rule of 5 here, as you can tell.
We do.
But
it's 5 keys.
5 keys, 5 things, all of the 5s. If you're not doing that, your business is potentially losing money. So that's the sense of urgency. You should have bought it yesterday, but the better time, if you didn't buy it yesterday, do it today. So Eric says, need the intro music for 5 things. Yes, we don't, but very good point, Eric. So, all right. So anyhow, check that out, oursuccessgroup.com/5 keys. If anybody has any questions about it at all, reach out to myself or Todd Downing, who's my partner with Our Success Group. And we're happy to help. And we are happy to give you contact information of a few of our customers. So there you go. And then upcoming, it looks like Eric is back. So it will be Eric and I at the half here. I had my wife on standby just in case, but it looks like he's ready to go. So we will be doing the half at 11:30 Central Time, Center of the Universe time. So about 24 minutes from now. Do the math real quick. And just an open Q&A, no script, no outline, none of that. Just open Q&A. Talk about whatever it is that you guys want to talk about. And it is the
Eric doesn't want to talk about natural gas. I know that
he does
for a
not
fact.
want to talk about natural gas, his house, or anything like that. So now we know what the half topic's going to be. So it is the one time in Eric and I's lives that we will actually be. We will not go over. It is 30 minutes, no exceptions. And in fact, we've even been cut off mid-sentence before, or even intentionally had some good times cutting ourselves off. So all sorts of fun and entertainment happening over there. Plus, we hope to share some great information with you. And you can find it at liveosg.com, which is our Success Group's YouTube page. Or if you're over there on YouTube already, just search for Eric Campbell, ERICH Campbell. And you can subscribe, like, do all of the things that, I asked my 10-year-old what that all means. And so do that over there at YouTube. Or if you're rather watch on Facebook, you can do so at facebook.com/Our Success Group Pro. Or just like on YouTube, just search for Eric Campbell and you will find him there. So that's what's happening for me. We will be heading off to Dax, Minnesota. And that is happening next Tuesday and Wednesday, so a little different time because of everything being compacted. That was the only available time to do that. And so make sure if you're in anywhere near Minnesota, you get over there and come hang out. We're going to have all sorts of fun and swag and just an opportunity to chat with people face to face. Our Success Group is in booth 112 this time around, so it should be easy to find. Look for the big blue blow-up couch. And then come take a load off. We've got our relax and recharge station where you can even charge your phone while you're sitting there relaxing and just getting some time off your feet in a very comfortable blow up couch. And we'll even help you up too. So that was the one question I got. Okay, if I sit on that, will somebody help me out of it? Yes, we will.
It tends to hug you.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely likes to hug you. All right. And then Eric, he's got his show, The Take Up, happening at 2:30 Mountain Time. And Eric, is it right? Am I good? Or okay, cool. Thank you. Today is defining style, patches, and patch alikes. What makes this evergreen trending item so compelling? So they talk about patches and patch style design, and sounds like a fantastic topic. And so you definitely want to check that out. You can head over to ericcampbell.com and then just click on the Take Up tab at the top for all the playlists and to then check out the live version. But you can also go back and watch all the previous episodes as well. Eric has Understanding Emblems, digitizing production styles and sales that you can purchase as a recorded version. So as we talk about patches, this is everything you ever want to know about all of patches, emblems, whatever you want to call them, digitizing the production, the styles, and the sales. And you can check that out over at decorators.education/emblems. And then speaking of being out on the road here, Eric will be teaching the Elevate Your Embroidery Digitizing Workshop at both the upcoming DAX Minnesota shows as well as the Chicagoland event there at Tenley Park. So you can get all the details for that at daxshow.com. And he will also be appearing at the Impressions Expo in Fort Worth, teaching specialty threads, design, digitizing, and marketing. And you can also find him appearing on the Elements of Excellence embroidery panel. So Eric at the Elements of Excellence embroidery. That's a lot of E's. I like it. All right, Terry. Well, have we done it? I think we have. We have come to the close of the show. So we want to thank Jamar so much for his time, and make sure you go over to impressionsexpo.com and get over to the Atlantic City show that's coming up, or the Fort Worth show, or next year in Long Beach, and go find Jamar. Like I said, 6'7", bald, easy to find. So say hello to him. Tell him that you heard about him on the Two Regular Guys. And also, I want to thank Terry for all of the great information, putting these categories together and sharing all of his knowledge about how to better take advantage of your trade show opportunities.
Exactly right. We also want to thank our show producer, Eric Campbell, for sneaking in here and taking over the controls, and for everything he does behind the scenes.
Yeah, definitely. Always makes us look so much better. So Terry, next week we're kind of open right now. We're batting around some ideas. So if you guys have some specific topics you'd like us to cover, or maybe some guests or something you want to learn more about, like I said, we've got a few things in the works, but we've got some open slots here. So we need you guys, the regulators, to step in and step up and help us out and figure out what you guys want us to talk about. After almost, we're in our 9th year here. I think this is a 412 today, if I remember correctly.
Amazing.
we'll repeat a few things here and there, but we try not to. So we need your help to understand what it is that you guys want to learn about and hear about, and who you want to hear from. We will go out and make it happen. So just let us know. info@tworegularguys.com will be the best way to do that. So there we go, Terry.
All right. Until then, I'm Terry Combs. He's Aaron Montgomery.
And we are the Two Regular Guys.
Here we go. We're out.
Awesome.
Thank you for listening to Two Regular Guys. Check out our website at tworegularguys.com. That's the number 2, regularguys.com. You can also interact with us over at our Facebook page, facebook.com/tworegularguys, or send us a tweet, twitter.com/tworegularguys. And we have a YouTube page. You can find all that from our website, tworegularguys.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to spending some time with you again next week.